So this was common sub expression elimination. Here what we do, we evaluate this expression and we replace this expression we can replace with this variable. So this is our common sub expression elimination. So you can see, but the important point is that in the middle these values should not change. Okay, so this is our common sub expression elimination. Now okay, so all these things we have seen, so let's see the copy propagation definition. What is the definition of copy propagation? So this is the definition. Let's assume that this variable v1 has the value v2. Okay, so now in some other expression, let's assume in some other expression, after some lines, after some statements, there is this type of statement: a is being assigned some value, but in the middle, remember, in the middle, this value v1 and v2, these values should not change, these values should not be reassigned. Then what you can do, you can replace this v1 with this v2. Okay, so actually there is a difference between common sub expression elimination and there is this copy propagation. So what is the difference? Let's see. So the difference is this. Wait a second. So let me tell you the difference. In common sub expression elimination, what we do, we have an expression, let's call this expression e. So we have this expression and we have this variable here. Okay, and after some statements, what we have again this expression e and we have some another variable u. So in common sub expression elimination in CSE, what we do, so this expression we have already evaluated and this expression is already present in the v. So we do not need to evaluate the expression again. We can use this v and we can replace this expression with v. So you can see basically I am replacing this expression. I am not evaluating the expression again. I am replacing this expression using the value in which this expression is stored. You can see. So I am replacing this expression with the value v. So this is common sub expression elimination. In this common sub expression elimination, this is what we do. But in copy propagation, what we do? In copy propagation, we do like this. Let's assume there is a variable v here and there is some expression here, either expression or variable. So you have a variable v here and we have another variable u here. Now after some time, you have this variable v here. So are you looking, can you see the difference? So here we have both the things are expression, but here we have this type of scenario. So we are again using this variable v here and to some w. Then what we can do, if in the middle this v and u, they are not changing, then we can replace this v using this u. So basically we can replace this w equal to, we can assign this w value u. So this is copy propagation. Okay, it will be more clear when we take examples. And this dead code elimination, you have already seen many times. We have seen this dead code elimination. So basically if a variable is dead, when do we say that a variable is dead? A variable is dead if it is not used afterwards. If you are not using some definition, as I told you, definition means assignment. If you are not using some, let's assume there is an assignment here, v is being assigned a plus b. Now if you are not using this definition of v, afterwards you are not using ever, okay, you are not using this definition ever, then this variable v will be called dead, and you can call this variable dead and you can eliminate this expression. So this is the point. An assignment to a variable v is called dead if the value of that assignment, if the value of that definition, okay, that is not read anywhere. So this is the point. So dead code elimination basically removes the dead assignments from the intermediate representation. Okay, now how algorithm will do these things we need to see. So okay, so this was the example. We have already seen this example, but let's just one time let's look at it again. So here you can see this a star a is there, and again this a star a is there. So you can do the common sub expression elimination. Same expression you have, and in the middle this expression is not changing, so you can do the common sub expression elimination. You can replace this a star a using b. So like this you can do. Okay, now after this you can see, after this what you can do, this, so this expression b, okay, this expression, so okay, you can apply the copy propagation. The copy propagation says that if you have this type of scenario, like to this c you are assigning b, and after that you are using this c, this C you are using, then you can replace this C with the B. So this is what you can do. You can replace this C with B. So copy propagation you can apply. Now after that, again we can apply the common sub expression elimination. So you can replace this B plus B using D. So this is how you can do. Okay. Now other type of local optimization. So these are very simple optimization. Let's see. So we have already seen arithmetic simplification. In the last lecture we have already seen this. Like if you have this type of statement where you are doing multiplication, so multiplying by 4, what you can do, you can just left shift 2 times. Multiplying by 2, you can left shift 1 time. Multiplying by 8, you can left shift 3 times. So these type of, because left shift is a very you can say cheap expression, this left shift is a cheap operation, because you have counter logic. All you need to do, just apply 2 clock pulse and it will be shifted. So that's why this shift operation is very cheap operation in our hardware. So that's why what we do, we replace this multiplication with shift operation whenever we can. Now we have this constant folding. Constant folding basically says that if at the compile time, if you can evaluate expression, then evaluate it. For example, 4 into 5. At the compile time also you can evaluate it. So this 4 into 5, our compiler can change it to 20. So this is the point. So constant folding we have already seen. Now what we will do, so as I told you in the last class also, I told you many optimizations that we do, they require some analysis. Like so far what we were doing, we were just looking at the code. There was only 4 or 5 lines of code. So when you have 4 or 5 lines of code, just by your naked eyes, okay, you can manually do the optimization. But how compiler optimizer will do it? How algorithm will do it? So for that you need to analyze the code. For example, if you want to do common sub expression elimination, if you want to do copy propagation, if you want to do these optimization, these are called optimization. So if you want to do these optimization, then you need to analyze your program. You need to analyze the program, and that analysis is called availability expression analysis. Okay, availability, whatever is spelling, availability expression analysis. So this analysis you need to do. Once you do this analysis, then you can do many type of optimization, like constant this CSE, common sub expression elimination, this copy propagation. These type of optimizations you can do, but this is the analysis that we need to do. Similarly, if you want to do this optimization, dead code elimination, then you need to do the analysis that is called liveness analysis. So this liveness analysis we need to do. Once we do this analysis, then we can do many type of optimization. One of them is dead code elimination. So this is the whole point, how algorithm will do. Okay, not just by manually, how algorithm will do, how a program will do. That is what we want to study now. So for that we need to study something called availability expression analysis, and we need to study something called liveness analysis. Now, so optimizations and analysis, as I told you, most of the optimizations are only possible given some analysis. You need to do the analysis. Like you can't just do manually. Your algorithm will do it by analyzing the program. So that is the point. Okay, in order to implement an optimization, first we will talk about analysis. So like if you want to do this optimization, like if you want to do common sub expression elimination, this optimization if you want to do, or you want to do this copy propagation analysis, optimization, these optimization if you want to do, then you need to do something called availability expression analysis. We will see what is this availability expression analysis, and then we will see how it will help us in the common sub expression elimination and also in copy propagation. So basically this is this is common sub expression elimination. Let's just one time see the definition again. We replace an available expression. Remember, we replace the available expression by the variable that is holding its value. So this is what we do in the common sub expression elimination. And in copy propagation, what we do, we replace the use of a variable by the available expression it holds. So okay, just let me take one example and let me show you. So like this, when you have this type of statement, you can see, you can read this definition of copy propagation. In copy propagation, we replace the use of a variable. So this is the use, you can see. This is the use, this is the definition of V, this is the use of A. This is the definition of B, this is the use of V. So this is the use of V. We replace the use of a variable by the available expression it holds. So this V holds A. This V holds A. So you can replace this V using A. So this is what you can do. This is what we do in the copy propagation. As I told you, this copy propagation looks like transitive. For example, this copy propagation, this looks like transitive. For example, you are assigning this here and you are using this here, then you can use this here. So like this. Anyway, this is the definition of copy propagation. We replace the use of a variable by the available expression it holds. So this is the point. Now we will see what is availability expression analysis. So for that we need to find what is the available expression. Also, as I told you, we are only in our GATE syllabus, we have local optimization. So what is local optimization? Means optimization which takes place inside a basic block. You have a basic block and inside this basic block you are doing some optimization. That is your local optimization. We have something called global optimization also, in which we do the analysis, we do the optimization on the complete control flow graph, basically among the basic blocks. But here right now our focus will be on local optimization. Let's see this availability expression analysis. So in the beginning of the program, there is no available expression. So you can say in the beginning of the program, initially no expression is available. So you can say that set of available expression is empty. This is your set of available expression. This is empty. So remember, here I am telling you how to do availability expression analysis. Once we do this analysis, then we can use this analysis to do optimization like CSE or CP, copy propagation. So initially no expression is available. Now once you have this type of expression, for example, if you have this type of expression, then what will happen? So for example, if you have this type of expression, A equal to B plus C. Okay, before this you have some set of expressions, some set of available expression. After this, what will be the expression available? This is the point. So you have some set of available expression, and after this statement, what will be your set of available expression that we want to find out? See, after this statement, you can say that this expression is available. This A equal to B plus C, this expression is definitely available. So you will include this in your set of available expression. Okay, let's assume this is your set of available expression as. Then in the output, what you will do? In the output, you will do the union. You will do the union with this expression, because now this expression is definitely available. After this statement, this expression is definitely available. So this A equal to B plus C. But remember, let's assume that before this A equal to B plus C, before this statement, let's assume you have this type of statement, A equal to D plus E. Let's assume you have this type of statement, A equal to D plus E. Now after this statement, this expression won't be available, because now you can see the value of A has changed. So now this expression is not available. Okay, this expression D plus E, this was inside this A, but now we are changing the value of A. So now this expression is not available. So you will remove this. So basically, because here we are assigning into A, so what you will do, you will remove those expressions which include A. Okay, similarly, if you have, let's assume you have this type of expression, here. Okay, in this set S you have this type of expression, then also now this expression won't be available, because now you can see the value of A changing. So now this expression is not available because the value of A has changed. So this expression now no longer is available. So you need to remove these type of expressions. So what we can do, we can say that initially no expression is available. When we execute a statement, like if you execute this statement, A equal to B plus C, when you execute this statement, then first of all you will include this in your available expression. In your set of available expression, you will include it, A equal to B plus C, because this expression will become available now. Okay, and remember, any expression that was already present which has the value A, that you can remove, because that expression will become invalid, because now that expression will not be available because you are redefining the value A. So this is the complete point in the available expression analysis. These 2 points we will use, and we will do the available expression analysis. Okay, so let's do the available expression analysis on this code. You have this code. Initially, no available expression. You can see there is no available expression initially. After this statement, what will happen? What will happen after this statement? You will include this in your set of available expression. So you will include it. So now this is your set of available expression. Now after this statement, what you will do? After this statement, you will include this in your set of available expression. Remember, you need to remove those available expression which contains C. But there is no such available expression right now which contains C. So there is nothing to remove. So just add it. So what you will get, this available expression. This is your set of available expression. After this statement, this is your set of available expression. Now after this statement, what will be your set of available expression? You will include this. Definitely you will include this, but you will remove those available expression in which you have D. There is no such available expression, so there is nothing to remove. So you can just directly write that this is your available expression now. So you can see this is your set of available expression. This is available expression, this is available expression, and this is available expression. After this statement, what will be your set of available expression? You will include this and you will remove those which include E. There is no available expression. You can see there is no available expression right now which include E. So there is nothing to remove. So you will just add E. So this expression you will add. Now this is your set of available expression. After this statement, what you will do? Now this is the important point. Here you need to focus. After this statement, what you will do? You will include this in your set of available expression. But you will also remove those available expression which include D, because you are redefining D, you are reassigning D. So you will remove this because this is using D. This expression you will remove because now this expression is no longer available. So you will remove this expression. So what you will get? You will get this. Now you can see from here to here, you can see that we have removed this expression because now this expression is no longer available. And we have included D. This expression we have included because now this is available expression. Okay. Now after this expression, what will be the set of available expression? After this expression, the set of available expression will include this. And you will remove those expressions which contain F. There was no expression here. There was no expression which contain F. So that's why you will just include this expression you will include, and there is nothing to remove. So this is your final set of available expression. So remember, this is your availability expression analysis. So we have done, this is how your algorithm will do. Remember, your algorithm will go step by step. Initially no expression is available, and after that it will use these two you can say these two principles it will use, that after every expression how to evaluate the set of available expression. So this is your availability expression analysis. Anyone has any doubt in this availability expression analysis, then you can ask. Okay, then now let's see how this availability expression analysis will help us in CSE, common sub expression. So now we have done availability expression analysis. AEA we have done. Okay, now we will use this availability expression analysis. We will use this analysis to eliminate the common sub expression. So now on this analysis, we will apply the CSE optimization. This CSE optimization we will apply on this optimization, on this analysis. Let's see. So what you will go? You will go again one by one. You will go. So here you can see one thing. You can see, for example, this is the okay. Right now here there is no available expression, so there is nothing to change here. There is nothing to eliminate here. Here you can see for this statement, for this expression, you can see this is your set of available expressions. So your set of available expression is saying that, what it is saying? It is saying that this B is a available expression and it is present inside A. So this B is a available expression. This is a available expression and this is present in A. So this is your, this we can detect from the availability expression analysis that we have already done. So this this is telling us that this B is a available expression and it is present inside A. So what you can do, you can replace this B with this A, because this B is already available expression. So you can replace this B with this. So remember, this is not a copy propagation, this is still common sub-expression elimination, because you have this type of statement, A assigning B, C assigning B. Remember here, you can see this is also this same expression you have here, as I told you. So this expression you have. Okay, then what you can do, you can replace this expression with the variable that is holding this expression. So you can replace this B with A. This is your common sub-expression elimination that we have already seen. So you can see here what you will do, you can replace this B with A. So you can replace this B with A. Okay, remember our algorithm, what it is doing, our algorithm is using the availability expression. This is set of available expression. We are only using this set of available expression. By using this set of available expression, what we can do, we can do this CSE, okay, common sub expression elimination. This is what we can do. Now after this statement, you can see this is your D. So A plus B, you can see this A plus B is not available. This A plus B, this is not available. So but remember here, once we come here, now this A plus B is available. You can see when we come to here, E is assigning to this E, we are assigning A plus B, but this A plus B is already available. This A plus B is already available inside D. So what we can do, we can replace it with D. So this is what we can do. So you can see, using this set of available expression, we are doing the common sub expression elimination. Using this set of available expression, we are only looking at two things, this and this. These two things we are looking at, and we are doing the CSE, because this A plus B, this is already available. Now after this you can see this B is already available. Actually this B is available in A also, this B is available in C also. So it depends on your algorithm, how you have implemented the algorithm. If your implementation of the algorithm let's assume this comes first, okay, this A equal to B, this is you will make a lattice. Let me just tell you, all these things that we are saying, when you do in a practical life, when you will do these things, then you will make lattice, and there will be some things like you will make lattice. So this lattice theory becomes comes very handy in your optimization, in your code optimization. Once you go to ISC, then you can take this course PAV. There you will learn how to implement these things. So there you will see that actually how do we practically implement it. Anyway, you can see this B is already available. This B is already available. So let's use this A here, because it depends on your algorithm how it will do. So now we are just taking this assumption that because this statement was fast, so that's why maybe we are using this. Okay, so anyway, this B you can replace with A. Now after this A plus B, you can see this A plus B is already available, so we can replace this A plus B with E. This is how you can do. So this is how you can do the common sub expression elimination. You can see this is your final result. So this is how an algorithm will do. Remember, of course you can do, these are very easy things. You can do these easy things just by looking at the program, because we have a small program and we are only dealing with some statements, few statements. But how algorithm will do, this is how algorithm will do. Okay, algorithm will do the availability expression analysis, and after that availability expression analysis, it will apply this optimization. This CSU optimization will be applied. Okay, now let's see this dead code elimination. Now we will see dead code elimination. So as I told you, for this dead code elimination, when you want to do this dead code elimination, then for this dead code elimination you need to do something called liveness analysis. So now we will see how to do this liveness analysis. Okay, remember there are many different analysis are there. Okay, in our GATE syllabus I think we have only this liveness analysis, and we have data flow analysis. These type of things we have. Okay, so so you can see in practical life we have many different type of analysis. So right now we will study this liveness analysis. So to do this optimization, Okay, to perform this dead code elimination, to perform this optimization, what we will do? We will do something called liveness analysis. Let's see how to do this liveness analysis. First of all, what this liveness analysis will do? This liveness analysis is going to give us set of live variable, set of dead variable, set of live variable. This is what we are going to get. So we are going to get what variables are alive at some point in the program. What set of variables are alive. Okay, so that's your liveness analysis. Okay, so this analysis will help you in the dead code elimination. So once we do this analysis, then we can apply dead code elimination optimization. Okay, so now what is the definition of live variable? You can see this definition of live variable is very easy. If you have some statement, let's assume this is your statement, v equal to a plus b. You have some definition statement. You can see this is the statement that you have. Here v is being defined and a and b are being used. So here you are using a and b. Here you are using a and b. Okay. So let's assume that here d comma e, these two variables are live. Let's assume basically after this statement, let's assume that these are the live variables that you have after this statement. Okay, so after this statement you have these two live variables. Before this statement, what will be the live variables? Just before this statement, so just before this statement, because you are using this a, you are using this b, so these two will become live. So this a and b, they will become live because you are using them. See, the definition of dead code elimination we have already seen. When you have this type of situation, v equal to a plus b. Now this is the definition. Assignment is a definition. So this is the definition. If you are not using it afterwards, let's assume you are not using this v. Okay, you can define this v, but you are not using this v. Let's assume you have this type of scenario. You can see in middle you are not using this v. That is the point. You are not using this v. You are directly defining it. So then this v here in this statement, this v will be called dead. So you can see that at this point, remember at this point we want to check whether v is alive or not. At this point we want to check whether v is alive or not. So we have to go in the reverse direction. Actually we have to go in the reverse direction. We have to check from each statement, we have to check, and we have to check whether this v is used or not, whether we have used this v or not. Okay, so if you are using v, then that v will become, let's assume that you are using this v here, v plus u, and you are assigning it to w. Let's assume you are using this v. Because you are using this v and you are going in this reverse direction, so just before this statement you can say that this v is alive, because we have used this v. So that's why you can say that this v is alive. So this is the point. In the liveness analysis, you go in the reverse direction. You don't go in the forward direction, you go in the reverse direction. Basically in the reverse direction we want to check whether we are using this variable or not. This is the point, whether we are using this variable or not. If you are using this variable, let's assume here you are using this variable v, then just before this statement you will, because you are going in the reverse direction, so just before this statement you will say that this v is alive. If you are saying that this v is alive, then again you will just go step by step, every instruction you will check. Let's assume you are reaching at this statement. At this statement when you reach, and at that time if this v is alive, then you will say that this v is also alive. So this is the point. Okay, so basically in the liveness analysis we don't go in the forward direction, we go in the reverse direction. This liveness analysis is done in the reverse direction. Availability expression analysis was being done in the forward direction. Okay, so the point is that if you have this type of statement, and you are going in the reverse direction, let's assume you are going in the reverse direction. At this point, let's assume d comma e is available. Alive. D comma e is alive. This variable d and this variable e, these are alive variable. So just before this statement, because you are using a comma b, so they will also become alive. Of course d comma e is already alive, so this d comma e is already alive, and this a comma b will also become alive. but this v will become dead because now you are assigning into v. So this v now will become dead because now you are not using this v, you are assigning, you are defining this v. So here you will remove this v because this v will become dead because you are not using it. Anyway, with example it will be clear. So what we are saying, a variable is live at a point in a program if later in the program its value will be read before it is written. So you must basically, before you write it again, you must read it. Then we will say that this variable will be live at a point in the program. Okay, so the dead code elimination basically works by computing liveness of each variable. Okay, and then basically we will eliminate in the dead code elimination. This is the optimization. In this optimization we will eliminate the assignments to the dead variables. Okay, so it will be clear. Let's take example, and now with the example it will be clear. So to know if a variable will be used at some point of time, we will go in the reverse order. As I told you, this liveness analysis we do in the reverse order, and this availability expression analysis, this we do in the forward order. Every analysis is actually, okay, these are the two analyses that we are looking at right now, but there are many different analyses, and all different analyses have their own structure, like in what direction to do, how to do. Okay, all these things are there. Okay, so anyway, this liveness analysis we do in the reverse order. When we do this in the reverse order, actually initially some set of variables will be given to you. In the question it should be given. Whenever there will be a question on liveness analysis, if there is a question, then they will give you some set of variables they will give you, which will be alive at the bottom of the program, because this is your, let's assume this is your basic block. Now you are analyzing in the reverse direction. So initially, basically at the bottom of the program, some set of variables will be given to you. Okay, initially some set of variables will be given to you. If nothing is given, then you can take it as an empty set. Okay, if nothing is given, but initially something will be given. If nothing is given, then you can take this initially as empty set. Anyway, now this statement, when you have this type of statement and you are going in the reverse direction, so let's assume this type of statement you have and you are going in the reverse direction. So okay, now at this point some variables are live. Okay, at this point, now you are going in the reverse direction. At this point, what will be the variables that will be live? So of course B and C will be live because we are using them, so that's why these will be live. So you will include this B and C, you will just include them, and you will remove this A because this A is being to this A we are assigning. So you will remove this A because now this A is being redefined, so that's why you will remove this A. So let's take example. Okay, with this example it will be clear. Let's assume that initially B comma D is there. It is given to you in the question. They will give you in the liveness analysis, initially some set of values will be given to you, some set of variables will be given to you that we assume that they are live. Now you might be thinking from where this B and D are coming. You might be thinking this. So let me tell you from where they are coming, because right now we are doing the local optimization. When we are doing the local optimization, then actually we are only looking at the basic block. This one basic block, this one particular basic block we are looking at. Okay, but remember in the program you have many basic blocks. In the complete control flow graph you have many basic blocks. So at some point of time, okay, actually before this basic block, maybe it might have happened that from here this B comma D is alive, and from here also B comma D is alive. So that's the point. This B comma D is that is this B comma D. So from some other basic block, from other part of the control flow graph, this B comma D might be live. So this is the initial value that we use in the local optimization. Anyway, if this set of initial live variables, if it is not given to you, then you can take it as an empty set. But now we will do the liveness analysis. So what is the meaning of this? Meaning of this is that at this point of time, means after this f equal to a, this is given to you initially these two variables are live. Here what will be the variables that will be live? So you can see if you are using this E, so you will definitely include E. So you will definitely include E. and you will remove f. You will remove f. So there is no f. So you can just say that this is your set of live variables. So this is how you will do. This is your set of live variable, because we are using this e, so we are including it. Okay, and because we are defining f, so we will remove f, but actually there is no f, so there is no need to remove. Now after this statement, what you will do, you will include a and you will remove d. See, you will include a because you are using a, so you will include a, and because you are redefining d, so you will remove d. So this is what you will do. So you will remove d and you will include a. Now remember, we are going in the reverse direction. So now after this statement, basically I should say that before this statement what will happen, e equal to d. Before this statement what will happen, before this statement this d will be live because we are using it. So you will include d and you will exclude, you will remove e. So you will get this, you have removed e and you have included d. Now before this statement what you will do, you will include a comma b because you are using them, and you will remove d. So this a comma b will be there. Now before this what you will do, you will include a and you will remove c. So you will include a and you will remove c. Now before this what you will do, before this statement what you will do, you will include b and you will remove a. So you can see this is your liveness analysis. Now we have done the liveness analysis. Anyone has any doubt in this liveness analysis? This is how we do the liveness analysis. Do we do liveness and available at the same time? So Soumyadeep, it depends on how like what are the optimization techniques your compiler has. It depends from the compiler to compiler. Right now these are just concepts. Okay, when we actually implement a compiler, at that time it depends on our what optimizations we want on our by our compiler, because each optimization will also take some time. Okay, each optimization has its own complications. Right now we are just looking at the simple some 2-3 just simple things we are looking at. But when you practically implement all these optimizations, when you practically implement all these analysis, these are two analyses that we have seen so far, liveness and availability expression analysis. There are many other, like there is live pointer analysis, okay, null pointer analysis. There are many, like this null pointer analysis was my project in ISC. Null pointer analysis, we were checking in the complete program, we were checking at each point of time, h after every instruction, basically we were checking what is the set of null pointers. So you can see there are many complications, and it depends on your compiler what optimization they are allowing, what optimization they are using, what analysis they are using, in which order they are using. All these things actually depend on your compiler. Okay, so right now we are just looking at these concepts individually, and when we practically implement them, then there are many complications. Like you will use something called lattice. You will make lattice and there will be big lattice. So depending on the complexity of lattice also, your you can say complexity of the analysis will depend. So all these things, once you go to ISC, then you will practically implement these things. You will make programs, you will make projects. Basically you will make a part of this code optimizer. You will have to make you will have to implement some particular analysis, some particular optimization. So all these things are very complicated. Right now just let's focus on the theoretical point of view, just idea we are looking at. Okay, how to do this analysis, how to do this optimization, these ideas we are looking at right now. Okay, is this point clear? So this is your liveness analysis. You can see this liveness analysis we do in the reverse order. So this is how we do the liveness analysis. Now after this, using this liveness analysis, now we will do the dead code elimination. Let's see how to do it. Dead code elimination. So again we will go in the reverse direction. Now we will see dead code elimination. So in the reverse direction we will go. See, this is saying that after this statement f equal to e, so after this statement, this is the set of live variable. This is the set of live variable, means b comma d are live. So this f is not live. That is the point. Basically after this statement f is not live. So you can say that this f is dead. So this f is dead. This is how we can see, because this is saying that b comma d are live. So f is not live, so this f is dead, and now you are assigning into a dead variable. So this type of statement you can remove. So this is your dead code elimination. In dead code elimination, basically you can remove the assignment to the dead variable. You can remove the assignment to the dead variable. So this f is a dead variable, so we can remove this assignment. We can remove this f equal to a, f equal to e. So this we can remove. Let's see. After this, what we will do? So okay, so we can remove this f equal to e. Okay, this we have removed. Now let's see this d equal to a. Basically to this d we are assigning a. So let's see this. Now this d is alive, so you won't change it. This d is alive. You can see after this statement d is alive, so you won't change it. Okay, let's not change it. Let's leave it as it is. Okay, now you can see, let's see this e equal to d. So this e is alive. After this statement you can see this e is alive, so this e is not dead here. Similarly, after this statement this d is alive, so this d is not dead here. Okay, now let's see this statement. This c is not alive, you can see. So you can see one more thing. You can see once we have done this liveness analysis, once we have already done this liveness analysis, okay, all you need to do is just see this and this. These two things you need to see. So you can see this. This is saying that at this point of time, at this point, this a comma b are live. So this c is not live. So this c is dead, and you are assigning into a dead variable. So that's why this also you can remove. So this is dead code elimination. This is how you can do dead code elimination. You can see here this a and b are live, so nothing to change here because this a is not dead. So this is what you will get. Now remember, on this you can again apply the dead code this liveness analysis. On this program you can again do the liveness analysis. Let's do again. So now we will apply the liveness analysis again. So far anyone has any doubt? Anyone? Okay, if no one has any doubt, then let's see. So now we will do the liveness analysis. Let's do again. So basically liveness analysis 2 you can do. Okay, let's do again. Let's assume that b comma d are already there, because as I told you, from where this b comma d are coming, they are coming from different basic blocks. Okay, let's assume you are analyzing this basic block. On this basic block you are performing this liveness analysis. Then this b comma d are coming from remaining part of your control flow graph. So let's assume initially this b comma d are live. So this b comma d is this is live at this point. Now you can see after this point, what will happen? You will include a, you will remove d. So this is what you will do. You will include a, you will remove d. Similarly, before this what you will do? You will include d, you will remove e. So you will include d and you will remove e, but there is no e, so there is nothing to remove. Now before this what you will do? You will include a comma b and you will remove d. So you will include a comma b and you have removed d. Similarly, before this what you will do? You will include b and you will remove a. So this is your liveness analysis. Now we can do again dead code elimination. Let's see the dead code elimination again. See here this b and d are live, so there is nothing to change here. But you can remove this. Why? Because you can see at this point of time this variable e is not live, so you can remove this. So you can remove this. Okay, so you now this d is live, so there is nothing to remove, because this d is live, so nothing to remove. Similarly this a is live, so nothing to remove. So this you will get after one more time. Basically you have done the liveness analysis and this dead code elimination second time you have done. So finally you got this. You can do it third time. Let's do it third time. Okay, let's do the liveness analysis for the third time we will do. Let's do it. So again, initially b comma d is there, it is given to you. B comma d is there. This is the set of live variable initially. Now before this statement what will happen? You will include a, you will remove d. So you will include a, you will remove d. Before this what you will do? You will include a comma b and you will remove d. So this is what you will get. Before this what you will do? You will include b, you will remove a. So this is your liveness analysis for the third time. Now again let's do the dead code elimination. So now when you do the dead code elimination, there is nothing to change here because this D is live here. So you can say that this D is not dead. This D is not dead. But remember, this D is dead because you can see here D is not live. Here this D is not live. So this D is dead. So because this D is dead and you are assigning to a dead variable, so you can remove this. You can remove this assignment. So this assignment we can remove. Okay. So you can remove this assignment. So this is how you can do. Finally, you got this. Now, one thing you might be one thing you might have observed that we have applied this liveness analysis for the 3 times. 3 times we have done it. So do we have to do it again and again and again? No, actually we can combine. We can make a new algorithm. This algorithm, what it will do? It will basically combine this dead code elimination with liveness analysis. So far what we were doing? So far we were doing the liveness analysis, then we were doing the dead code elimination. Now what we can do? We can include these two things together. So let's see how we will do. Initially this B, D is live. Okay. Now what we will do? See, at this point also you can see that because here this B, D is live, here this B, D is live. So this F is not live. So this F is dead. So you can directly remove it. So basically you can see I am doing live analysis plus dead code elimination. I have basically combined the algorithm because we have observed that we had to do 3 times. We had to apply this liveness analysis 3 times, then 3 times this dead code elimination. What we can do, we can include these algorithms. Okay, so what we will do, we can now remove this F. So because this F is not available, this F is not live here, so this F is dead and you are assigning into a dead variable. So we can remove this assignment. So this is how you can do. Now let's apply the liveness analysis. See, you cannot remove this. Why you cannot remove this? Because D is alive. So you cannot remove this. Now your liveness analysis, what it will do? It will include A and it will remove D. So this is what you will get. Now remember, this statement you can remove. Why? Because this E is dead. Because this E is not live here. This E is dead here. Here you can see A, B is live. This E is dead. So you can remove this. So this is what you can do. You can see now we have combined the algorithm. Now we don't have to do 3 times. In one pass it will do. In one pass we can do everything. So now you can see this also you can remove. Why? Because you can see this A, B is live. This D is dead here. This D is not live. After this statement, just after this statement, this D is not live. So this D is dead and you are assigning into a dead variable. So this assignment you can remove. This assignment statement you can remove. So this is how we will do. Now you can remove this C equal to A also. You can remove this because this C is dead here. So this C is dead. So you can remove this also. Now finally you can see this A is alive. So you cannot remove it. So what you will do? You will just do the liveness analysis. Now what will be the value here? You will include B. You will exclude A. So this is how you will do. Okay. So this is the complete point and this is the combined algorithm. So finally you will get this output. So we have seen liveness analysis and this. Anyone has any doubt right now? So right now the theoretical portion is over. So these very small things are there, like these small optimizations are there, like this constant folding. What is this constant folding? Just for sake of completeness I am covering it. Constant folding means basically you can evaluate the constant expression at the compile time. For example, this 2 plus 3 at the compile time you can calculate it. So you can replace this 2 plus 3 with 5. So this is your constant folding. Okay, so this is called constant folding. This constant folding is some type of algebraic simplification. We have seen something called algebraic simplification. We have seen this constant folding is one type of algebraic simplification. So at compile time what we are doing, we can replace this 2 plus 3 with 5. Similarly at compile time we can replace this B and false with false. Okay, so these things you can do at compile time. At compile time you can evaluate the operations statically. So you can see this type of, so this is the your constant folding optimization. Okay, now what we have algebraic simplification. This we have already seen how to do this algebraic simplification. Like so like what you can do, for example, if you have this a into 1, so when you multiply with 1, then you will get a. So what you can do, this type of expression you can replace with a at the compile time. Similarly, this a into 0, you can replace it with 0 at compile time. So these things you can do at compile time. So this is called algebraic simplification. For example, a plus 0, you can replace it with a at the compile time. Similarly, a minus 0, you can replace it with a at compile time. Similarly, this b or false, so you can replace this with b at compile time. Similarly, this b and true, this you can replace with b. So these are your you can say algebraic simplification. Now what other simplifications you can do, like your compiler can do this kind of simplification also. For example, this if this addition is associative, okay, then you can do this type of simplification also you can do. A plus b plus c, you can replace it with a plus b plus c. Okay, like commutative, if this addition is commutative, then you can do like this also. So it depends on your, like these are strategy. Remember, these are just optimization, these are the ideas. How do we implement it? Okay, that is practical issue. Right now we don't care about the practical issue. How do we implement it? How we will get to know how when to do these, when not to do these. Those things are practical issue, but this is one idea of optimization, algebraic simplification. Now, so for example, this algebraic simplification, like if you have this type of expression a plus 1 plus 2, now you can see at compile time what you can do. If this addition is associative, then you can write like this, a plus 1 plus 2. Now you can do constant folding. So you can see basically this algebraic simplification, you can combine this with constant folding. So now you can do the constant folding and you will get a plus 3. This is how you can combine two different optimizations also. Okay, so this is the idea. Now these are very small things. Strength reduction. So we have already seen this actually. Like I told you that multiplication with 4, you can replace it with left shift two times. Okay, so these type of things you can do. Of course, it depends on your compiler. The effectiveness and everything. Those will depend on your hardware, on your architecture, and your compiler. How we will implement it. But this type of idea, this type of simplification is called strength reduction, because this is expensive operation and you are replacing it with cheaper operation. So this shift is a very cheap operation. Just in 1 or 2 cycle, your counter logic can you have a counter logic flip flops, and you can do the shift. If you apply 2 times, the clock you can apply 2 times and it will shift. So you can see this multiplication is more complicated operation. So you can replace it with cheaper operations. Okay. Now you have something called constant propagation. What is this constant propagation? So if you have a value, let's assume some variable has this constant value, and at some point of time, let's assume you are using this c. Then what you can do, because this c has this constant value at compile time. At compile time, you already know that c has this value, constant value. Then what you can do at compile time, you can replace this c with 5. So this is your constant propagation. You are propagating the constant. So this is the point. For example, here x has value 5. Then what you can do, you can replace this x with directly 5. Then you will get this. Now you can do the constant folding. So it will become 10, y equal to 10. Now this y has value 10. Then you can replace this y with 10. So finally you can see this code can be replaced with this code. So you can see we have done constant propagation and we have done the constant folding. These two things we have. You can see the to become effective, this constant propagation can be combined with constant folding. So this is your constant propagation. Basically, if you have a constant value, if your variable has constant value, at compile time you already know that your variable has constant value, then you can propagate that constant value. So this is the complete point. Now what is copy propagation? This we have already seen. For example, this y you are assigning to x. Now at any point if you are using x, you can use y also. Remember, all the uses you can replace. So for example, here this x greater than y, so you can replace this with y, because here this y is, this is the use of y, this is not the definition of y, this is the use of y, so you can replace it. Similarly, you can replace this x also, because this is the use of x, so you can replace this also with y. Similarly, you can replace this x also, because this is the use of x, so you can replace this with y. Remember, you cannot replace this x, because this is not the use of x, this is the definition of x. So basically, replace uses of the assigned variable with the copied variable. So this is the important point that you need to take care. In the copy propagation, what we can do, we can replace the uses. For example, you can replace this x, because this is the use of x, so you can replace this with y. This is your copy propagation. And as I told you in the last class also, we have seen this, that this copy propagation will lead to dead code elimination. After this copy propagation, what we can do, we can apply the dead code elimination. Okay, so this is the complete point, because you can see that in this program, okay, just look at this. On this program, we have done copy propagation, we got this program. In this program, you can see this statement is dead. Here this x is dead, because this x is not using, we are not using this x anywhere. You can see this x we are defining, this x we are not using, so now this is dead. So that's why after this copy propagation, you can apply dead code elimination to eliminate the dead code. This is your dead code elimination. This we have already seen. For example, if you are not using this x anywhere, then this x is dead, and now you can replace this assignment to the dead variable, you can remove. So finally, this is how you can do. And this dead code elimination we have already seen. To do this dead code elimination, we need something called liveness analysis. This is your common sub-expression elimination. In the common sub-expression elimination, what we do, this we have already seen. We use the availability expression analysis, and after that we apply this common sub-expression elimination. So this we have already seen.